Hello and welcome to SOULMASK RPG. I am Sovereign. Today we're going to be talking about what they're going to be doing for the updates for the upcoming month for SOULMASK. Now we have some pretty big news on main character enhancements, data replication, crafting from your inventory, and the follower squad. So there will be some more information. We're going to go through everything that we've got on here, and I'm going to give you my opinion, my thoughts on what's going to be coming up on the updates for next month. But first, we're just going to go over quickly what they did in the past 30 days. So there was an issue where people's top concern was to do with the perfect remodeling for the tribesmen, where they added a perfect remodel feature to the advanced settings for both single player and private servers. And it was acting like a tribesman save file. Now that wasn't there from the beginning, but they added that later on after there was a lot of people talking about it. And they also introduced the option on the single player for you to adjust the cap on the amount of savable tribesmen you have, giving more freedom to preserve the guys that you like the most. And another thing people were talking about was map teleport optimization. Now people complained about that a lot, being able to get around the map. There was a lot of open space. People weren't able to get to the places they wanted to. People complained about it being a walking simulator, and a lot of people complained about it. So they added the fact that where people were saying they couldn't rely on campfires because of the rain problems, and when it rained, it all just kind of went out. And then it was the fact that you had to build structures every time you wanted to do it down, so when it did rain, it was protected and you were able to teleport there when you needed to. So they added the number of portals in SOULMASK to 13. They added the fact that there would be portals at all of the bosses, so that it was easier to move around the map, and there's a lot of more places you can teleport to. You still had to locate those teleporters and get to them and unlock them, but they were there and they were added. They also added the fact that the player crafted portals were much easier to get at the beginning of the game. During the Slayer X place, you can get your first teleport and you could put that place on farm. And they added the single player option that allows you to carry materials through the portals, and you'll be able to have your follower accompany you for quick travel. And they added a hell of a lot more respawn points to the mid and high level areas. These points, they could be accessed by clearing the fog of war, making exploration in these advanced areas significantly safer. So if you did drop dead in a place, there would be a lot more places you could teleport to. Another big thing they added was more customization options. They did have the way to switch to prevent enemies from respawning in barbarian camps when the players are present. There was a lot of complaints about how when they were in the middle of a 2-hour dungeon, by the time they get to the other end, some people were taking too long and they would respawn. So they added that option to prevent enemies to do that for a switch. They adjusted the crafting limits of bonfires and portals so you can decrease the limit on your single player servers. The load coefficient, they added the fact that you could carry more and have more bag slots. That was massive for me, because that was one of the biggest things that annoyed me personally, was the fact that there wasn't enough slots. I could have like 10% of my weight, but I wouldn't be able to carry anymore because of the amount of slots that are actually in the bag. And they added the option to stop the morale cost for tribesmen so they won't need to sleep. They did some difficulty curve improvements. They adjusted the late game difficulty curve. It is mainly in the snow areas and the volcano areas. They enhanced various difficulty mechanics to improve gameplay balance, removing monsters from dungeon entrances, etc., to increase the player's survival rates during exploration. And they reduced the lethality of diseases and plagues, particularly for tribesmen, because they were doing massive amounts of damage, and tribesmen don't always heal themselves or use items. You have to do it manually. They increased the output of key materials, including high multiplier for bosses and elite monster drops in multiplayer battles. And they shortened the stamina recovery from 2 seconds to 0.5 seconds. And they made enemies use defense blocking more than dodge for ranged attacks. And they did some optimizations for tribesmen followers and more official server support, adding more options, etc. Now let's go over what's coming up over the next month. Now the first big thing is the main character enhancement. They did say that since our design of beginning characters post, we've contemplated the best approach to tackle the main character issue, because there was a lot of complaints about the main character just being not useful at all after a certain point, etc, etc. There were people like myself who said that the mask was the main character, but there was a lot of people that couldn't find the logic with that, and I understand how you couldn't, because it's not really, maybe it was just me coping with the game itself, to me, just to be able to decide that the mask is the main character. So what they're going to be doing is strengthening the starter character. They should be as capable as any other ordinary tribesman. So in the upcoming major update, the starter character will be reclassified as an outcast with moderate rarity. Similar to other tribesmen, they will require unique talents as they level up, special survival skills honed from escaping sacrificial rituals and tribal wars. We've also increased the proficiency cap for the starter character that may not match the experts in the tribe, but they're definitely capable. We remain committed to the crafting the ultimate solution for our protagonist. Thankfully, we have an enthusiastic community of chiefs who continuously inspire us with your ideas. Your contributions have significantly streamlined this process today. We're thrilled to unveil our final design, data replication. Now, the data replication from the mysterious stone tablet The chieftain not only discovered how to enter their tribesman DNA information, but also uncovered a magical function within it, using the entered genetic data to transform chieftain's ordinary body, ultimately inheriting all abilities of their tribesmen. The data replication is an exciting new feature coming in our next major update. By using mask energy and crystals, you can conduct a deep genetic scan of specific tribesmen and modify the starter character's body with tribesmen's genetic data. This process transfers their unique talents to the main character, allowing them to harness these abilities. With this feature, the main character can embody the skills of any tribe member, unlocking the mask's ultimate potential. They also added that, note, due to this uniqueness of genes, this operation is irreversible. The replicated tribesman cannot be recorded again. Perhaps making the base guards would be a good idea. Now, as you can see in these pictures that are up here, we do now know that the actual limit for the proficiencies will be 90. Now, what they've done is your main character will be able to be designed by you at the beginning of the game. Now, the DNA replication is that actually taking the looks of your main character that you designed, that you love, and you can transfer that to the guy that you're now using. That is a massive change, and a lot of people are going to be really happy with that fact. Now, there is still going to be the issues that there will be with the difficulty curve that people are having, and the end game sort of being dried up, and the movement between the map is still a thing they have to deal with, but it's definitely moving in the right direction. Now, from crafting from inventory, in the upcoming month, we will be updating the global resource calling function. This enhancement allows chiefs to utilize materials from any storage box within the camp's range while crafting. This improvement minimizes the need for constant trips between storage boxes. Leave that task to the tribesmen who aren't wearing masks. This is going to be another big thing for people who are going to be able to save time moving from box to box. And basically, if you've ever played Ark Survival Ascended or Ark Survival Evolved, it's the pull it mod, where you're basically able to just craft whatever you have in your boxes just by going into your crafting menu and crafting it. You don't have to go to those boxes. Now, another massive change is the fact that they're going to be adding more than one follower. So the number of followers in your game will be adjusted in single player mode and private servers. They're not going to do this on officials just yet. I'm guessing they're going to be using this to sort of see how it runs before they add this kind of thing to the official servers. So they said in this month's last update, we're introducing an adjustment coefficient for the number of followers in single player mode and private servers. This new feature will allow you to send multiple tribesmen into battle. This is just the beginning for the tribesmen's squad. We have plans to further expand its tactical potential in future, so stay tuned. This one is the biggest thing for me. So now on my single player, I'd be able to actually go in and fight the tougher bosses with having 3 tribesmen coming with me. They'll be able to fight with me. They'll be able to do the things like you'll have with a 4-person tribe or a 6-person tribe where you're going to kill the bosses. This is a big thing for me because it is a kind of a cutoff point for the berserkers. You can solo the berserk bosses, but getting any further than that is actually pretty much impossible at this stage. So that's really big for me. Let me know down below what you think about these changes. Now, lastly, they did go on to say we have an array of exciting changes lined up for our major July update. We can't detail everything due to the length constraints of this post. I can assure you that July will be a transformative month for SOULMASK, and this is just the beginning. We know there are still many issues with SOULMASK that need to be addressed, such as the cheating problem that everyone is complaining about. We will share our progress on ensuring a fair play later on, or the long-standing issues that interface usability and sound effects. We are aware of these issues and are working diligently to resolve them. We will share our progress with you as soon as possible. A glorious civilization isn't built in a day, but that day is not too far off. Now, for me, this is the biggest update SOULMASK has had so far. Out of all of the updates, this is a big one, and I'm really, really happy that they are going and actually taking some of the community's problems, bringing it in and changing it up. Now, at first I was like, don't change this, don't change that, don't change this, don't change it. And for me, as long as it's not easy mode, how everything in the game is easy, I'm okay with it. Now, the main character thing is a big boost, and now the problem that I had with the actually taking the tribe members was the complete, like, I had to run around with this tiny little character with tiny little legs, and I wasn't really enjoying it because like, I'm quite a tall person, and I can't relate to the character that I'm playing because of that fact. So it kind of like, I'm not an aesthetic guy in the way that I look at a character and think, oh, that character's ugly, I can't play it. But I do have this inkling towards that it is kind of a big deal for me to like the look of the character that I'm playing. And that replication part of this, where they can use the DNA to change the look of your character, is absolutely amazing. I love it. Let me know down below what you think of that one. Let me know down below what you think about all these improvements. It is big, 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 big. And hopefully it's going to bring back some players to the game so we can get this going. And that's all the information that we have for today. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Sovereign RPG. I am Sovereign, your one-stop shop for all your survival gaming goodness. Fly safe and avoid local chat scams.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look out.